Welcome to this tutorial on using AWS Amplify REST API. AWS Amplify is a development platform that helps you build, deploy, and manage scalable mobile and web applications. The REST API is a key component of Amplify, allowing you to interact with your backend services and data. To get started, you need to have an AWS account and the AWS Amplify CLI installed on your machine. First, initialize a new Amplify project by running the command amplify init in your terminal. This will create a new directory with the basic structure for an Amplify project. Next, create a new REST API by running the command amplify add API. This will prompt you to choose the type of API you want to create, such as REST or GraphQL. Choose REST and follow the prompts to configure your API. Once your API is created, you can define endpoints and models using the Amplify API configuration file. For example, you can create a new endpoint to retrieve a list of items by adding a new path to the API configuration file. To interact with your API, you can use the Amplify API client. First, install the API client library by running the command npm install AWS Amplify. Then, import the API client in your code and use it to make requests to your API endpoints. For example, to retrieve a list of items, you can use the following code. First, import the API client and initialize it with your API endpoint. Then, use the API client to make a GET request to the endpoint. Best practices for using AWS Amplify REST API include using authentication and authorization to secure your API endpoints. You can use AWS IAM roles and permissions to control access to your API. Additionally, use API keys and secret keys to authenticate requests to your API. In conclusion, using AWS Amplify REST API is a straightforward process that involves initializing a new Amplify project, creating a new REST API, defining endpoints and models, and interacting with your API using the Amplify API client. By following these steps and best practices, you can build scalable and secure REST APIs for your mobile and web applications.